everybody, welcome to Real Talk. I'm Deb Kent, I'm a realtor.
I'm Stacy Purcell, I'm also a realtor.
And you've heard the phrase cash is king.
I have.
And actually, interestingly, I find this very interesting, the majority of homes that are sold in the Gulfport area are purchased with cash. And that's from the very lowest price home all the way up to a $2.5 million home in the last 6 months.
That's some deep pockets there.
Deep pockets. So we've heard that phrase, cash is king, when it comes to making an offer. And you were saying that you don't think that's necessarily the case. What do you mean by that?
Well, when I first got in the business of buying houses, cash was king. If you called out cash, you knocked out 90% of the people who are also trying to buy the house. Today, now, 90% of the buyers have cash. So that's not the incentive. What is the incentive? There's quite a few things. And one is dealing with a experienced realtor who will tell you, I don't want to give out our trade secrets on how to win the contract with a cash buyer. I mean, pretty much you're out of the game quite a bit when you have to bring financing, that's terrible. It's really kind of sad.
It is terrible. So we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty about how to write a competitive offer. Just know that if you're working with us or certain experienced realtors, they're going to know how to compete in today's seller's market and our very competitive environment. But what I do want to talk about a little bit is what that means for people who are looking to finance. So if the majority of people are making offers with cash, and that puts them immediately at a competitive advantage over somebody who's coming in with a conventional loan, or God forbid an FHA loan, or God forbid a VA loan.
I love VA loans.
I love VA loans too, and I think accepting a VA loan is an important way of honoring veterans and giving them the opportunity to buy homes with that veteran benefit. But more and more sellers are turning away VA offers.
Well, that's where we differ. I do represent mostly listers, okay? And so when I talk to my listers, yes, of course, they want quick cash, quick closing, quick inspection, all that. But I have them not so fearful of the loan, and especially not of the VA loan. The VA loan is nothing like it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, they would pick your house apart. Not so much anymore. And in fact, they're one of my favorite loans because they really do get the money. And then you are putting a vet into a house. It's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. And I love that too. And it breaks my heart when I work with sellers who absolutely don't want to accept a VA loan. Or I'm working with VA buyers who are having trouble getting their loan accepted.
Well, that's the other thing too. When you work with a VA buyer, you really have to know the guidelines of the VA loan. You know, like the roof, the peeling paint, those few things.
Handrails is a big one.
Yeah, things that we just know when we look at a house as being seasoned, experienced realtors. So you know pretty much going into it, no, this is never going to be a VA house. It's never going to, FHA, it could be, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. Conventional, there's a lot of conventional loans I'm getting accepted now. People are putting down some big money, and it's just how you present it to your seller. And hopefully if you have the seller, and these aren't my buyers necessarily, these come to me from other realtors, but I talk my buyers through it. Because a lot of times the cash deal still is going to be less money. At the end of the day, they do try to use that as their bargaining chip.
Right. So for those who really don't know what the advantage is to a cash deal, because I've had buyers say to me, what difference does it make if I have an FHA loan or a conventional loan, or if I'm offering cash? Why did that buyer beat my offer out when it's all the same net to the seller? The seller is still making their money. What difference does it make to a seller if I'm paying cash or if I'm financing? What difference does it make? But there are some advantages to cash offers.
Well, you can forego the inspection, which I do not
recommend.
I do not at all. You can forego the appraisal, which I don't recommend either anymore. You can put more money down and you can close a lot quicker.
Right. Quick closing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So recently, one of my clients did not get the house. They offered $10,000 over list, which in that market was significant, and they still didn't get it because they were coming in with an FHA loan, and conventional is what beat them. It wasn't cash,
Yes.
it was conventional. And we did everything short of writing that personal letter, which is frowned upon these days.
It is frowned upon.
Yeah.
I just had one, they tried to write, I said, no. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just skip the letter, and we can talk about that at a later date. But they, they came in over list price. They didn't ask for closing cost assistance. They were, they didn't ask for a home warranty. They were really, it was as clean an offer as you can imagine. But the conventional is the one that won.
This was your buyer?
That was my buyer. And when I asked the agent, I said, we will bake you brownies, we'll do everything possible. And when I asked him, why did you go with the conventional loan? It was very simple. It's just less complicated.
And because they baked special brownies. You should have said you would bake special brownies.
Yeah.
Because you can't, just the brownies isn't going to do it. You should have been special
brownies, yeah.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time. That's okay. Yeah, but it is a trying time for people who are trying to buy a home right now and they have to get a loan. It is a hard time, but be patient. Maybe it's not your time to buy. Maybe you need not to buy at this high market. I don't like to see anybody ever get hurt in the real estate business.
Yeah.
And you can, and it's a big hurt because it's your largest investment for a lot of people that you'll make, and if you don't make it right, it's going to be wrong for a long time.
Yeah, and I don't know that everybody realizes just how invested, so to speak, we are in the financial security and stability of our clients. We don't want to see them making those kinds of mistakes. None of us knows what the market holds.
I don't ever hear that any house I sold has gone into foreclosure, but after that last downturn, a few of the houses I sold did, and it really did bother me. It bothered me a lot because these are people's homes, and that's where you live, laugh, and love, and you don't want to lose it. So be cautious. Be cautious in this market. I think it's very volatile.
It is volatile. And it's hard to counsel a buyer who's willing to pull out all the stops in order to get an accepted offer. I've had buyers tell me, I'll waive the appraisal.
I don't care, I just want it.
Yeah, I'll waive the inspection. It's like, no.
I love that refrigerator. No.
And waiving an inspection is a huge deal. Unless you are an inspector or a contractor or you have one in the family, to take that kind of risk, I understand the impulse to do it because you really want to win. You really want your offer to be accepted.
We can give the secret away. You can shorten your inspection period, but get your home inspection.
Absolutely. Right. If you compress that inspection period.
That is a secret.
Yes. And we're giving it away.
Yeah. Free today.
Yeah.
Today.
Only
well,
today.
Let's make that our new show.
Yeah, free today.
And look for the secret tip in our podcast.
I like that. Yeah. So, really what that means, if you've never bought a house before, you may not really understand what it means to shorten the inspection period. So maybe you could talk a little bit about what that, what is a normal inspection time and what is the effect of shortening that?
Built into the contract is a inspection time if you leave it blank 15 days. I like to bring it down to 7 days, and it's not business days, it's consecutive days minus Sunday. So the thing is that nobody wants to hold their house hostage for 2 weeks while you determine if you really want it, because your inspection period, it could be anything that you could cancel that contract for. So you shorten that time up, but here's the other problem, is that home inspectors are so busy that you really can't. I used to do like a 3-4 day inspection period, but you can't find a home inspector now in 3 or 4 days. They're booked out like 2 weeks. So you need to have a strong realtor that can plead your case.
Right, and the thing about inspection is, and I've seen this as a technique for making a competitive offer, is if you're a buyer and you're pretty sure that this house is the one for you, you can actually schedule your inspection before you see the house. Then your realtor can actually say to the listing agent, don't worry about us having trouble with finding an inspector because we've already lined one up. So at least it shows that you're proactive, and that timetable is not going to be threatened as you flounder around trying to find an inspector who's available. You can proactively schedule one before you see the house. It doesn't cost you anything to get on their roster.
It's gonna. As soon as they get wind of it and they figure that, they're gonna have a non-refundable deposit, I can guarantee you.
Okay, but until that time, that is a technique that you can use.
Yeah.
That's my free tip.
Well, I come from the home inspection business. Mm-hmm. My number's very low, as you know. I just cannot agree with that.
Okay.
But I can understand it, and it is crafty.
Okay, so
it's crafty.
It is crafty. So we're really seeing some crazy things as people compete in the seller's market to get the winning offer. And one of the things that I've seen, honest to God, is someone has said, I will send, so I had the listing, and the buyer's agent said, my buyer will send $4,000 to your seller, non-refundable, if they accept our offer today. They knew that we had an open house coming up, and they knew that because of the nature of the market, my sellers were going to be stalling to get as many showings as possible. And these guys, they didn't want to wait. They wanted to put in a strong offer, and they wanted an acceptance immediately. They didn't want to wait until after the open house. They didn't want to wait until 40 other people have seen the house. So they're literally, they sent a bribe. They offered a bribe, and the bribe, which is legal, it is not a violation. It is not a violation of anything.
You're sure it isn't?
I am positive.
Because it's not an escrow?
Nope.
Well,
No,
I
it's
think
a gift.
I think
It's a gift outside the deal. It is a gift outside the deal.
I think it's shark bait.
Yeah.
Because I think it's unethical, and I think if they really wanted their offer accepted, they should just wrote their offer, put the $4,000 in it, did whatever, okay, and then had their realtor plead their case for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those tactics.
And
have
you ever been on the receiving end of a bribe like that? And the bribe is not going to the realtor, it's going to the seller.
Exactly.
And it's
I don't like it
presented-
at all.
Yeah.
Oh, that would make
I had
me,
never
I
seen-
would be on the phone to our in-house attorney that
Well,
we have.
we did.
Yeah,
We were.
right away and
We
make
were.
sure, because I don't like any of that.
Yes,
at
and
all.
we did. We talked to the attorney.
Did you do it? Did they send the money?
They did, and they got it. They got it.
Wow.
So what they said is, we'll send you a non-refundable. We will send your seller a non-refundable gift of $4,000 if they
Wow.
accept our offer within the next few hours. And my
And I
sellers.
thought the escalation clause was sneaky.
Yeah, the escalation clauses. That's
Yeah, that's
nobody's
sneaky,
even
though.
doing that anymore.
No,
Now they're
Wow.
bribing. Now they're bribing, and
I don't want any part of that.
And
Don't
my
bring
seller,
that to me.
My seller did accept it, and that
Well,
and we
you
checked
have,
it out. It
you
was
have
legal.
to present
and-
it.
Yeah, you have to present it.
You do. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
See?
I thought it was a sign of the times, a sign of desperate times.
Of immediate gratification times.
Yeah, because they didn't want to wait.
Yeah, but okay. There's all different ways of looking at that. Okay, I'm not fond of it.
No, and it's different. So I've seen waiving appraisal, waiving
Yes.
inspection,
Bad.
bribing, and then of course the old standby, which is
Bribing with brownies.
Yeah, no, yeah, the special brownies.
Okay.
And then the other technique that's really kind of fallen out of favor is the love letter.
Oh yeah, I don't
And
wanna.
love letters are highly discouraged right now. And the reason is that they can mention things that could be considered a fair housing violation.
Yes.
Sometimes love letters will talk about religion. We go to the church in your neighborhood, or they'll include a photo, and it's a photo of a
Okay.
a family, and that
Yep.
can be interpreted as a fair housing violation. The things that fair housing look at are race, religion or ethnic identity, family status, and those are the areas that we're not supposed to discuss and we need to stay away from. But when you have a client that's determined to write a love letter and they start to reveal those things about their family or themselves, and if that deal is the one that gets the accepted offer, it could be argued that that offer was accepted because of information that was revealed in the letter. So now,
I'm like return to sender.
yeah, and we actually are seeing in the agent remarks, our seller will not consider letters, personal letters.
Or brownies.
Or special brownies, yeah. So that's something that you may feel compelled to do, but just know that they're really kind of frowned upon right now, the love letter. But brownies are always in season.
The scarlet letter for buying a house.
That's right.
Okay,
All right, that wraps it up. I'm Deb Kent, I'm a realtor, and
I'm Stacy Purcell, and I'm a realtor extraordinaire.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.